You are what you do, not what you say you'll do. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Thinking is difficult, that's why most people judge. I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become. What you resist persists. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams, who looks inside, awakes. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. No tree, it is said, can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. I must also have a dark side if I am to be whole. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. The first half of life is devoted to forming a healthy ego. The second half is going inward and letting go of it. The best political, social, and spiritual work we can do is to withdraw the projection of our shadow onto others. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. Synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. Every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol, morphine or idealism. Shame is a soul-eating emotion. Who looks outside, dreams, who looks inside, awakes. Wholeness is not achieved by cutting off a portion of one's being, but by integration of the contraries. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light of meaning in the darkness of mere being. To ask the right question is already half the solution of a problem. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, in order to avoid facing their own soul. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Life really does begin at 40. Up until then, you are just doing research. Everyone you meet knows something you don't know but need to know. Learn from them. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. Solitude is for me a fount of healing which makes my life worth living. Talking is often a torment for me, and I need many days of silence to recover from the futility of words. Nothing has a stronger influence psychologically on their environment and especially on their children than the unlived life of the parent. Normality is a fine ideal for those who have no imagination. Wisdom accepts that all things have two sides. The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect but by the play instinct acting from inner necessity. The creative mind plays with the objects it loves. Embrace your grief, for there your soul will grow. Free will is the ability to do gladly that which I must do. We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. The ability to ask questions is the greatest resource in learning the truth. Mistakes are, after all, the foundations of truth, and if a man does not know what a thing is, it is at least an increase in knowledge if he knows what it is not. Synchronicity, a meaningful coincidence of two or more events where something other than the probability of chance is involved. In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. In every adult there lurks a child, an eternal child, something that is always becoming, is never completed, and calls for unceasing care, attention, and education. That is the part of the personality which wants to develop and become whole. We meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life. The greatest tragedy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents. Neurosis is the natural byproduct of pain avoidance. Art is a kind of innate drive that seizes a human being and makes him its instrument. To perform this difficult office, it is sometimes necessary for him to sacrifice happiness and everything that makes life worth living for the ordinary human being. The difference between a good life and a bad life is how well you walk through the fire. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. The highest, most decisive experience is to be alone with one's own self. You must be alone to find out what supports you. When you find that you cannot support yourself, only this experience can give you an indestructible foundation. One looks back with appreciation to the brilliant teachers, but with gratitude to those who touched our human feelings. The curriculum is so much necessary raw material, but warmth is the vital element for the growing plant and for the soul of the child. In each of us there is another whom we do not know. I don't aspire to be a good man. I aspire to be a whole man. Where love stops, power begins, and violence and terror.